The Kardashians, being truly the aesthetic savants that they are, realize, oh, me having this kind of body is attaching me to a demographic of people I don't want to be attached to. And it's making me appeal to a demographic of people I no longer want to appeal to. Skinny ass Kardashians. Okay, so y'all have seen how the Kardashians, namely Kim and Khloe, look right now. Okay, so this is Kim 2 days ago. She's out in New York. Look at how gaunt Kimberly is looking here. And not page 6 fucking playing in our faces with Khloe Kardashian shows off her curves in a white hot jumpsuit. Now y'all know damn well. So this is how Khloe is looking right now. Yeah, especially that side profile. I wanted to share that to, not to body shame them, but I wanted to talk about the physical evolution that the Kardashians have undergone over the past 6 months, a year. Is definitely stark. It's in their just overall body weight. They're very skinny. And I thought, oh, you know what? Khloe's been going through some shit. But the fact that both Kim and Khloe are doing it at the same time makes me think there's no such thing as coincidence. So it's not just that they are extremely thin, it's that they have done liposuction or whatever removal to make their butt smaller. If you see that the projection of their butt is a lot smaller, right? Like the hips, right? They have taken away the hips, the width of their hips is much narrower. They are intentionally, right, transforming themselves to go back to a traditionally white physical aesthetic. And Kimberly, who's obsessed with aesthetics, is fascinated by that shit. So I've been doing a lot of Kardashian research recently because I'm on and off working on a video about the Kardashians for Harriet. And I've listened to a lot of presentations about the Kardashians. And one of them talked about how the Kardashians view their bodies as projects that are never complete. They view their bodies the way a lot of people view their homes, right? It's a fixer-upper. We're always going to be tinkering and tailoring and moving things and nipping and tucking because there is no such thing as perfection, right? Like the journey to perfection, the journey to being at the top of the desirability hierarchy or the beauty hierarchy is never ending. There's no such thing as good enough. And they demonstrate to us their class status. They demonstrate to us their privilege via their ever-changing faces and bodies, for sure, okay? And so beauty is a commodity, bodies are commodities, desirabilities are commodities. And so when we look at how the Kardashians are choosing to change their bodies, we have to think about the capital that they used to want and the capital that they're looking to acquire now. I knew it was going to happen. I'm early on talking about the effects of Instagram on the way we view ourselves, on the way we view our bodies. It was very obvious that the super exaggerated BBL look was a trend. Same way that big old giant fake silicone tits were a trend, right? Like for sure. I knew it was going to come and go. And it's just fascinating to see them in real time demonstrate how your body, literally the shape of your body, things that you have to get anesthesia for are used as an accessory. And so what were they using the old bodies for? What are they doing with the new bodies? So obviously Kim Kardashian comes into the mainstream via the Black male gaze. That is how she got on. That's how she has become a billionaire, via the Black male gaze. Now, yes, that popularity has had an impact on the mainstream. I know as a, big bootied little girl that it was not always fun or cool or desirable to have a big ass. I distinctly remember middle school, maybe even into the beginning of high school, people making comments about my thighs and my butt. I even remember one time I was on a debate trip. I think this was it must have been freshman year. And we went to Harvard, the Harvard debate tournament. and we were getting in the hot tub, me and my best friend Blake, who was black, and there were already boys, there were white boys in the hot tub. And we were like, okay, we're gonna be cute, like in our bikinis and get into the hot tub with boys. Also, where were the chaperones, girl? Where were the chaperones at during, but whatever. So we were definitely 15. And I distinctly remember, one of the boys, I turned around to get out of the hot tub, and he was like, why do black girls have ghetto booty? He said that. That's fucking right. And so it is such a mind fuck. It has been such a mind fuck. And, for me, I love seeing Beyonce, even though, Beyonce didn't really have that bad of an ass. Love seeing Jennifer Lopez. That's also why I have a soft spot for Jennifer Lopez, right? In the mainstream, making content around celebrating as superstar women, this thing that people cannot help but be drawn to. Okay, but that was still women of color doing it. Kim Kardashian gets propped up by the black male gaze, propped up via her sex tape with Ray J, and all of these black men in particular thirsting after her, fiending for the exotic woman, right? Honestly, if you look at the men that Kim Kardashian has dated, Negroes, biracials and Negroes, all of them. Okay. And so that puts her family on. The rest of the family is like, oh, that's how we get on, except for Kourtney. Kourtney still likes the white. Let's do that. So Khloe got on the train. Kylie got on the train. Keeping Up with the Kardashians debuted. Kim was like 25. How old is she now? Maybe 40, 41. So over these past 15, 16 years, things happen. You get married, you get divorced, you have kids, you decide to go to law school. Your desires change. Your goals change. Where you want to be taken seriously changes. And so that means your body has to change. The one thing that Black women who have curves, not just Black women, right? Because, I've always tried to push back against the idea that like this is a Black woman thing. Women who have curvy bodies know that your curvy body is a distraction everywhere, okay? It's a distraction in the office. It's a distraction at McDonald's. It's a distraction at the mall. And so you actively are expected to reduce the distraction, right? Don't wear pants that are too tight. Don't wear skirts that are too tight. Don't wear tight-fitting clothes. Button up your blouse, right? It's your responsibility to make sure that you are not distracting all of these people because your body is deviant. Your body is errant. So now Kim and Khloe are older and they're realizing that thing, that distraction that made them so much money, the thing that was this spectacle that got them so much Black male in particular attention, that is a distraction, right? But it's also now a class signifier. So now that BBLs are everybody and their mama, okay, getting a BBL. Like when you see a woman with the BBL, my first thought is not instantly, oh, she got money. It's not instantly, oh, she must be doing that to get a high value man, because that's not true anymore, right? Nurses, teachers, housekeepers, all kinds of people are, getting the care credit, okay? Getting the $5,000 to do it. So now there's no distinction, right? There's no privilege. You're not pedestalized or idolized for having a BBL. The Kardashians, being truly the aesthetic savants that they are, realize, oh, me having this kind of body is attaching me to a demographic of people I don't want to be attached to. And it's making me appeal to a demographic of people I no longer want to appeal to. Black men. Right? But also the other thing about it is we see Kim in this whole thing around going to law school and, passing the bar. And I passed the baby bar, you guys, and prison reform stuff that she's into. We see Kim desperately clawing at legitimacy, a different kind of legitimacy, right? A kind of legitimacy that money cannot buy. Because yes, technically, Kim Kardashian is a billionaire because of Skims and all of the other stuff. She's still always going to have the reality star stigma. It doesn't matter if she takes responsibility for getting 100 more people out of prison. She's still always going to have that stigma. But she is actively doing everything that she can to be like, no, I'm a serious woman. I care about the world. I'm deeply invested in this celebrity philanthropy and activism. I'm a billionaire. I deserve a seat at the table. And Khloe, I don't know, Khloe just going through some shit. Khloe Khloe's just tired of being dragged by niggas. That's it. Okay. And so it's not just in removing the BBLs, it's also in becoming so fucking thin. Black people prefer a little bit thicker. Not fat. Black people be fat phobic as fuck. Okay. But the Black body ideal is slim thick still, forever, always. So them going back to being super, super skinny. When I was, coming up, they would call that white girl skinny. Them going back to like the normative white woman chase for be as thin as possible is also telegraphing stuff to us. I remember when I used to work in the stockroom at Ross, the supervisor, I'll call her the overseer, her name was Shannon, and we would be back there. And I remember one time Shannon being like, "You can never be too thin." What? The Black girls were like, "What? Of course you can be too thin." She's like, "No, you can never be too thin." It's like, yeah, like the Kardashians are back on board with the white girl mantra of you can never be too thin. And I'm going to show you how disciplined and committed to the ideal I am by getting as thin as possible. Fuck them niggas. Right? And also this connects to, the interview that I did with Virgie Tovar, right? About how white women diet for completely different reasons than Black women diet. This also makes me think about how after the E version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians ended, they did this sit down with Andy Cohen, and Andy asked them about if they feel responsible for perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards. And was it Kim? I think it was Kim, because she has the audacity to say something like this. Kim was like, "We work really hard. We get up in the gym every day and we work really hard."
Do you think that you are promoting unattainable standards of beauty in any way?
No, I don't. Because I think we get up, we do the work, we work out.
The commitment to that level of delusion and deception is so fascinating looking at them now, because that body, that super thin body, yes, I'm sure that she's, restricting herself and dieting and also, setting the worst possible examples for your daughters. Oh, those poor fucking kids. Oh, I know they got eating disorders. Oh, Jesus Christ. For me, my first beauty icons were my mother and my sister. But anyways, let me not get too far off here. It's so interesting that in light of seeing them now, these bodies that are clearly being deprived and clearly being continually worked on, it's just so funny now to think back of Kim being like, "Well, we get up in the gym every day. We do that." Ironically, it's also legitimacy that only the super rich can buy, the ability to have private tutoring to pass the baby bar, right? So I think that the private tutoring and all of that stuff, and even the way that she was able to get people to endorse her, right? Because you have to have endorsers. That's definitely a function of being rich, but being rich and famous, right? There's something to Donald Trump just wanting to get Kim Kardashian into the White House because he's a star fucker. As they age, whiteness may also be more profitable. They have to think more long term. Oh, absolutely. But the Kardashians are also so deeply invested in presenting themselves as the best mothers. I'm the best mother. I always put my kids first. I'm doing it for my kids. I'm keeping it cordial for my kids. Yes, he can be in the delivery room, even though he just cheated on me for my kid, right? And so if you are trying to present yourself to the world as an ideal mother, like the Madonna, you don't want to really be trying to align yourself with Blackness, right? If you're trying to do that. Okay, because if it's one thing Black women are not known and exalted for, it's being good mothers. That's not to say that Black women are not good mothers. It is to say that the ideal, right? The stereotype, the archetype of the bad Black mother is still ubiquitous. Or the bad person of color mother, irresponsible, ubiquitous. So you also want to shimmy back over into whiteness in order to make sure that your status as a great mom can be respected. I don't think it's by happenstance that she chose to wear a famous white woman's dress to the Met. For sure, right? It's all about symbolism. What is semiotic, right? Signs and symbols. So even if we look at the latest Skims campaign and the aesthetic of this. Oh, it's giving blonde, tan, early 80s, right? Yeah. A very particular, nostalgic white woman aesthetic here. Yeah. Honestly, the pictures look good. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The pictures do look good. I hate to say it. They do look good. But okay, when we're looking at this. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Lauryn Hill. Because Lauryn Hill is the fucking GOAT. I really appreciate her breaking all of this stuff down. But I was thinking about, okay, is the super skinny with the booty, is that ideal better or safer than the exaggerated BBL ideal? And a part of me wants to say, yeah, right. Because first of all, lipo is a much safer procedure than the Brazilian butt lift, right? Fat transfer generally. But also, I feel like Black women are not going to chase this ideal. No, they're not going to be fucking with that. But anyway, is it better? Is it worse? It just is. This is just where we are.